Hey guys, it's jacobcullip back again for another Premier League predictions matchday video. It is match week 14 of the Premier League season 2020-2021. And yeah, brilliant games in matchday 13. Liverpool versus Spurs, Leicester v Everton. Some brilliant games there. Sheffield United, Manchester United last night. Brilliant game. And yeah, let's review those scores before we get into match week 14 of the Premier League. Yeah, it's 14, just remembered. Literally, I have to make two this week. It's absolute pandemonium. Love midweek games, midweek videos. So yeah, let's have a review. So first game was Wolves versus Chelsea. I said Chelsea were going to win this comfortably 2-0. Ended up actually being 2-1 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brilliant game and two brilliant goals by Wolves. Absolutely brilliant. Manchester City versus West Brom. This was probably the shock result of the week. I said it was going to be an easy 4-0 win to Manchester City and ended up being 1-1. But Slaven Bilic was the first manager this season to lose his job. Arsenal versus Southampton. I said 1-1. Got it bang on right. 1-1. It's probably the only prediction I've actually got right this week. I've got 2 right last week. Only 1 this week. Madness. But I said Arsenal were going to draw, and they did draw 1-1. And Theo Walcott scored for Southampton. No respect for Arsenal at all, does he? And I joked about Aubameyang scoring for the opposite side. This time he actually scored with Arsenal. So Aubameyang has finally broken his duck, and Arsenal have scored in open play. Leeds versus Newcastle. I said Leeds were going to win. I was correct on that. I said it was going to be 2-0. Ended up being 5-2. It was a really close game, but then the last 10 minutes, Leeds took over and scored some brilliant goals, especially from Jack Harrison. Brilliant goal. Leicester versus Everton. I said it was going to be 2-1 to Leicester in this game. Ended up being 2-0 to Everton. Brilliant performance from Everton. Richarlison and Mason Holgate scoring the goals. And yeah, good performance from Carlo Ancelotti's side. Fulham versus Brighton. I said Fulham were going to win this 2-1. Ended up being 0-0. And Adam Lallana's goal ruled out by VAR. So not in a very exciting game. The biggest game of the match week was obviously against the top 2, Liverpool versus Spurs at Anfield. I said Spurs were going to win this 2-1, but I also did say Liverpool usually do surprise me, and they did surprise me in this one. I did get it 2-1, but it ended up being 2-1 to Liverpool due to a late Bobby Firmino header. Brilliant goal, and he scores at Anfield. All of his goals are being at Anfield this season, but brilliant win for Liverpool, and 3 points ahead of Spurs now, and probably you could say favourites for the title, but it's a bit early doors to say that, because I think Spurs is still up there. So good win for Liverpool there and go 3 points clear at the top. West Ham versus Palace. I said this was going to be 2-1 West Ham. Ended up being 1-1. So a draw there between Palace and West Ham. And a brilliant goal from Sebastian Haller. Brilliant. Villa versus Burnley. I said Villa were going to win this comfortably 2-0. Ended up being 0-0. And Villa had 27 shots in the game and couldn't convert one. So it ended up being 0-0. And a good point for Burnley away at Villa Park. Sheffield United versus Manchester United, the last game of match week 13. I said it was going to be 3-1 to Manchester United. It was 3-1 for a long time, but then Sheffield United got a late consolation goal, but it could have been 3-3, but a fantastic save from Dean Henderson to save the 3 points for us. So 3-2, but I wanted it to be 3-1 because I would have got 2 predictions right again, but you're never right, you're never right. But that was last week's prediction, so only 1 right in that. Not hopefully to do better this week. So let's go into the match week 14 games, starting off with tomorrow's 12:30 kickoff game, which is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Palace is getting a point, but they did take the lead at the London Stadium against West Ham, so there'll be a bit half and half about that game, but they did get a point out of it. Liverpool, fantastic win against Spurs at Anfield, but they really struggle away, especially with the recent history at Selhurst Park, especially getting the wins they have. It was 2-1 last season, Bobby Firmino again from that, and then a 2-0 victory the season before that. So they do relatively struggle to score goals at Selhurst, but there's no fans now because the government have announced London is in Tier 3, so that might be an advantage to Liverpool, but I think Liverpool will win this game regardless and will win it by 2-1. I expect it to be a very close game. Southampton versus Manchester City. This is one of the games to look out for. Southampton getting a point, but probably should have capitalised on Arsenal when they went down to 10 men when Gabriel got sent off. But I think Manchester City will be a bit too strong and will come back from that disappointing result against West Brom with a 2-0 win at St Mary's. Everton versus Arsenal, the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. Everton beating Leicester away. Arsenal, as I said, drawing 1-1 for Southampton. Good defensive display going down to 10 men. But I think this will be a draw again. I'm going to go 1-1 again. Final game on Saturday is Newcastle versus Fulham at St James's Park. Fulham in decent run of form, getting a draw against Liverpool, getting a draw against Brighton, but could have been 1-0 down if the Adam Lallana goal stood. Newcastle lost 5-2, as I've said, away, but they did win their last home game against West Brom at Albion. So I'm going to predict a Newcastle win here. I'm going to go 2-1, a relatively close game. Brighton versus Sheffield United. Brighton, a bit hard done by with the goal ruled out from Adam Lallana's goal, I should say. I don't know why I'm going there. But Sheffield United have only got a point this season. It's officially the worst start in top flight history. But I think they'll get a point from this game because Brighton just can't score. But I think it's going to be 1-1 in this game. Because Sheffield are good going forward, but defensively suspect at the back. Spurs versus... Oh, that was the first Sunday game, I should say. Spurs versus Leicester. This is another game to look out for. Spurs will feel a bit hard done by in the 90th minute, conceding that Bobby Firmino late goal. But I think they will come back from this game and condemn Leicester to a back-to-back defeat. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory at White Hart Lane. Another, probably the biggest game to look out for this week. Manchester United versus Leeds. Two teams who do not like each other and brilliant history in England. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think if we can match Leeds, I think we can win this game. But we'll probably go 1-0 down and then turn it around like we always do. But I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Manchester United win. Back the boys. Come on. We don't even have the shirt on. Fred Perry, if you wanted to know. West Brom versus Villa. West Brom have got Sam Allardyce in charge now. Still the last manager to beat Jurgen Klopp at Anfield. April 2017. A long time for that. So watch out for, was it Boxing Day? West Brom travel to Liverpool. Could watch out for that. But I think Villa will win this game and bounce back from the 0-0 draw with Burnley. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Aston Villa victory. Burnley versus Wolves. This is the Monday game now. Burnley getting a decent point away at Villa Park. Wolves, brilliant victory against Chelsea at Molineux. And I'm going to go for a Wolves win, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory. Last game, and which is another game on Monday as well. Chelsea versus West Ham. Chelsea, 2 losses away. Now they lost at Goodison Park, they lost at Molineux, but they're at Stamford Bridge, and they're very good at Stamford Bridge, I have to say. West Ham also in brilliant form as well, getting a draw out of the Palace game and then beating Leeds. This will be quite a close game. I keep saying that for all the games because it's the Premier League, it's the best league in the world. But I think Chelsea will bounce back from those 2 horrible defeats. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory. So what do you guys think of those predictions? Remember, you can comment your predictions in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to the Jacob Cullip YouTube channel. These are the last predictions before Christmas. I'll be back on Christmas Eve to predict match week 15 of the Premier League season 2020-21 predictions of that game week. And yeah, I've been loving these videos, and you guys seem to be loving the videos lately with all the likes and the views, so thank you very much for that. Remember guys, you need to be yourself, you can't be no one else. I've been Jacob Cullip, and yeah guys, peace.